Okay, the first thing we want to show today is how to set up our machine here and how to go about approaching the stump here that we're going to try and demo for you here today. First thing I want to do is, I don't have any cutters on our machine here at the moment, so what I'm going to do is, you've seen that I packed this machine up a steep embankment to get over here to where this stump's at. And what I'm going to do now is assemble the leg on here, because it was a lot easier to pack it up the hill without the leg on there. And so I'm going to put the leg on and the transport wheels so that it makes it really nice to be able to change the teeth. So I'll show you how quick this is to do this. All we have to do is remove one nut and a washer over here on what we call the pivot shaft. I'm going to take that off. One person can do this pretty easy. Just slide it on. Put the nut and washer on. Make sure you tighten it up. I happen to have a 3/8 ratchet with a 3/4 socket on here, and you can see how easy this is. And then, what really helps when we go to put the teeth on here is to put this transport wheel set on. It isn't mandatory, but it just makes it really nice. If you slide this wheel set on and then pull the leg back towards the handle of the motor, and look at how, when we set the motor on the ground, lifts the wheel up off the ground, so it makes it really nice to be able to put the teeth in there. This machine is very easy to use as a rototiller to dig around this stump. So you'll see, as we pan around with the camera, you can see the vegetation and how the dirt is sloping up on the stump. And you're going to watch me use this machine in a way that's going to dig a trench around here, so that then all I have is clean wood to cut, and I won't even dull my teeth. Okay, what you can see is in just a few minutes I've been able to dig a trench around this stump and remove a lot of the debris. As you can hear on the video, there's a lot of big rocks in here that was unexpected. And what happens with the smaller rocks, the machine's going to kick them out. But I'm going to show you a few sizes that the machine didn't want to take out. But I exposed them so that it makes it easy to either take a pry bar or a shovel if you have one. And you can see the size of the rocks that I'm talking about. The machine's not capable of getting them out, but at least you're going to expose them so you can get rid of them and get them out of the way. Now I've started on this one part of the stump, and I know that I'm not cutting with the grain. As you can see, the chips are short. They're better than on the other stump that had really fine sawdust. I am getting some production out of this, but it's not as good as I'd like. So I'm going to change the position in which I'm going to shoot here. Okay, as you can see, the chips from this angle is really peeling out a lot of large chips. Look at how long and sliver these are. This is what should happen on a Douglas fir. And so obviously my production is way better than over on that side. Now, I also forgot to mention that if I was out there grinding stumps for a living here, what I would have done, because I cleared a trench around this stump, you can see how much tall this stump is. Well, if I was going to do this and wanted to really speed up my time in getting the job done, I'm going to take a saw and I'm going to saw off the majority of that stump so that all I have is pretty much a lot of just a little bit of the base system and then some feeder roots, and it really cuts down the time that it takes to grind a stump. So I'm only doing this so that you can see the visual difference between cutting over here on this one side where the sweet spot wasn't, and now we found the sweet spot from this side of the stump. And it happens on just about every stump out there. And what you're looking for is, on some oak trees, you may not get the big long slivers, but as long as you're getting good production, stay with it from that direction. If you're not getting good production like over here, then you need to change your position, and it's easy to do. You can see how fast this little machine can take this out, and you can imagine with this motor here being the Steel TS760, if we can cut this stump in that fast a speed, can you imagine having the Husqvarna on here going 30% faster as a bare minimum? I've had guys do 7-foot diameter red oaks in an hour and a half, and that's cutting 6 inches below grade. So that's an awful lot of wood to be producing with a small stump grinder.